This channel, The Wealth Explainer, in the last 30 days has gotten over 3.8 million views. And if we do the math, divide that by 1,000 and multiply by their RPM of around $5, they're making somewhere from 15 to 20,000 US dollars per month. In this video, we're going to talk about the format they're using, which is POV: you are a cartel boss, for example, or your life as every rank in the Italian mafia. This format, the POV and your life ads, is blowing up on YouTube, and a ton of people are wondering, is it too late? Is this oversaturated? Can I still get into it? And let me tell you right now, out of all the YouTube automation videos that you've watched anytime recently, this is gonna be the one that could actually make you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars. So please use your attention span and stick around because I'm gonna drop a lot of value. And just to prove that I know what I'm talking about, later in the video, I'm gonna show you a few POV channels that I have affiliation with and one that I completely own. Now, an easy way to look at formats on YouTube is to split everything into a broad niche and a sub niche. Now, a broad niche is pretty much the format. So in this case, the broad niche is POV or your life ads. It's the same thing. The title, like the actual videos are the same. You could title it POV, you're a cartel boss, or your life is a cartel boss, right? It's the exact same video. And in a lot of cases, people actually split test their titles between the two and just let the one that gets the highest click-through rate stick. So in this case, the broad niche is going to be the format, which is your life ads or the POV, and then you have a sub niche. Now, when you combine broad niche and sub niche, that is your overall niche. Now, the sub niche here is groups. Now, the groups that they're using are militaries, they're gangs, things like that. Like you'll see Italian mafia, you'll see Yakuza, you'll see Roman army. Now, there's a ton of channels like this, and there's a channel here called The Life Outline. Now, this is a channel I actually have affiliation with because the person running this channel is actually in my mentorship program. And as you can see here, they essentially use the Wealth Explainer to come up with the idea for the Life Outline. You can see the Wealth Explainer started much before the Life Outline, but the first video got 2 million views, the second one got 5.5 million views, and in the first 30 days of them joining my mentorship program, they created this channel and made over 25,000 US dollars on this channel. And in this case, they kept the broad niche the same and the sub niche the same. But now we're starting to see what some people are now calling niche bending or niche pivoting. And that's where you keep the broad niche, but you switch the sub niche. So we keep this idea of POV, or we keep this idea of your life as, and instead of doing groups, gangs, military, we're switching it over to different ideas. So here's another channel of a student, once again, that is in my mentorship program that created this. They kept the POV broad niche, but instead of doing the groups as their sub niche, they changed it to anime. So we have a video about what it's like to be every sorcerer rank in Jujutsu Kaisen, and that has 340,000 views. We have another one, what it's like to be every ninja rank in Naruto, and this has 220,000 views. And as you can see, this is a month ago, this is 2 weeks ago. Hey guys, just editing the video and realized a lot of people might be wondering how were my students able to be so successful and so recently in this POV style niche. Simply, they just followed my AI YouTube system that I use on all of my own channels. If you're wondering what that is or how you can get it for yourself, the link's gonna be in the description. And pretty much here in these tabs, I have a bunch of other channels of people I honestly don't know, but these people are pumping out these videos, and they're pretty much keeping the broad niche, aka they're keeping the style of video and switching what the category or sub niche is, right? So in this case, we're having specifically a military channel here, and this Mr. POV Explainer, he's pulling in tons of views. If we copy his channel and we put it over in Social Blade, he doesn't get that many views per video, but he uploads so much that in the last 30 days, he has 1.3 million views, right? So we take 1.3 million and we divide that by 1,000 and multiply it by 5, which is around what the RPM is in this niche. This channel is still making 6,500 per month. And keep in mind, this person might be running 2, 3, 4 channels. I've seen some people in this niche with like 5 channels that they link on their own homepage because they're trying to spread the viewership to them. So this one channel, covers the amount for a full-time income, let alone if, this person has multiple. And I want to go over this a little bit more, and we're going to go over, is this idea oversaturated? Can you still get into it? I will explain my reasoning as to why I think yes or no. I'll show examples. Now, we have another channel, Professor POV here. We have another channel, Lost Legacy here. As you can see, this channel is even doing super well. Here's another one here, Bernard, doing stuff like you're a sheriff in the Wild West, you're a pharaoh in ancient Egypt. We have Odd Dude Explained doing stuff like, drugs, trafficking, black market stuff. So do I think this niche is oversaturated? And I'm going to say no, actually, it's not. And I'm going to give you proof that it's not, so you don't just take my word like, oh, it's his opinion against mine. Now, the reason I think it's not is because a niche gets oversaturated when there's too many channels in that same niche. Now, what's a niche? It's the broad niche and sub niche combined. So pretty much when too many people are doing that same specific genre, like let's say if we go back to anime simplified, if too many people did this POV type of niche in the anime niche, then we're going to have oversaturation in the anime sub niche. Now, when does a broad niche get oversaturated? When does that overall POV style of video, that broad niche, get oversaturated? That gets oversaturated when there's too many variations of that broad niche. So when there's too many like anime, military, when there's way too many of them. And that's actually really rare to happen. There are so many different things you could do. You could do every rank as, you know, a Jedi, for example, like doing some Star Wars theme stuff. You could do specific animes. There's so many different genres you could cover here. We're even seeing stuff like if I search up POV, your life as a cartel boss's son, we're even seeing channels like this. Like look at this channel here. They only uploaded one video, but got 723,000 views. And because they weren't capitalizing, other channels are starting to do similar stuff. So if I do like POV, your life as a president's son, for example, there's another channel that just took that guy's idea, and that guy stopped uploading. So now he did, you're the daughter of the most dangerous mafia boss. You're the son of the US president. And this is getting views, just capitalizing off of this idea. And here you can see other people copying it, but it's not working because they weren't first to it. So really, all I'm saying here is you need to come up with an idea that nobody's done. POV, your life is what? And what type of category can you go into that nobody else has done? So that's kind of how you come up with the idea. And I'm going to show you an example of me creating a video as well later in the video. But I first want to show you proof that I know what I'm talking about. We have this channel, Denzo, and if we go to their videos and sort by oldest, you can see that this says a year ago. It's actually around 2 years ago now. And they had this niche that's super similar, actually, which is why it sucks to be. So instead of POV your life as, it's like why it sucks to be. And this guy was doing why it sucks to be born as different animals. So the broad niche was why it sucks to be born as, that's the format. And then the sub niche was animals, right? And this guy, he wasn't uploading that much. You can see he's not uploading that much. So somebody else went and, capitalized on the fact that he wasn't uploading that much. You can see Bound. He started around 2 months after Denzo, but you can see he's uploading like every 3 days to this day of this Why It Sucks To niche and is still pulling in so many views. As you can see, these videos have a lot of views. And they're doing the same thing, same broad niche, same sub niche. But you can see at some point, people started changing the sub niche. We have Super Rami, who started doing, Dragon Ball type stuff. Why It Sucks to Be Born as a Saiyan, 1.5 million views. They did a part 2, 230,000 views. Why It Sucks to Be a Namekian, 200,000 views. Why It Sucks to Be God of Destruction, 200,000 views. All Dragon Balls type stuff. And then for whatever reason, they just switched their niche away from this. No idea why. They should have continued with this. But that's just a mistake on their end. We have this channel, which was doing, same thing, but instead of Dragon Ball, they're doing One Piece. Why It Sucks to Be Born in One Piece. Why It Sucks to Be an Uchiha. Why It Sucks to Be a Marine in One Piece. They're doing Why It Sucks to Be Born as a Fishman. I guess here Uchiha isn't One Piece, but they're mainly doing one. Then we have Jay Hona. Why It Sucks to Be, and instead of anime or animals, they were doing dinosaurs. Why It Sucks to Be this dinosaur, I don't even know how to pronounce these. And you can see 2 million views, 2.8 million, 2.4 million. So this format is working across different audiences. This format works whether you like dinosaurs, whether you like anime, whether you like animals, right? We have another channel, Stone, which for some reason stopped uploading, but their first video, Why It Sucks to Be Born as a House Centipede. Now we're not doing any of the previous sub-niches, now we're doing insects, right? And you can see it's got 1.4 million views first video. We have Wallace here, who instead of doing insects, animals, dinosaurs, anime, doing like superheroes, right? Why It Sucks to Be a Viltrumite, Why It Sucks to Be a Kryptonian, Why It Sucks to Be a Jedi, Why It Sucks to Be a mutant. And you can see 3.5 million views here. Just look at the views on the screen. I will zoom in, just look at the views. Like these channels are making so much money. Some of them are making like upwards of $50,000 a month. And it's clear that it's really hard for an overall broad niche to get oversaturated is what I'm trying to say, as long as you have an original idea that nobody else has done yet. And there are so many ideas you can come up with. And what I see a lot of people doing, they're actually going back to this Why It Sucks as niche, taking these sub niches and then bringing it to this new POV niche. So I see people doing like POV POV your life as Superman, and it's kind of like the same type of thing, just instead of Why It Sucks to Be, it's just your life as Superman, right? And it's taking away that negative connotation to it. So that's how people are coming up with original ideas, or you could come up with a brand new one. And the reason I'm mentioning this niche is because I've been running my mentorship program for around 2 years now. And I'll be honest, when I started seeing this format, I thought at some point it was oversaturated, and I could not have been more wrong as more and more channels came out. And now I know not to follow that same mistake, so I actually went in and joined the party and created my own channel here. Now, this is my channel right here. I'm going to blur everything and come back to it. First, I want to show you why I'm blurring everything. It's because I've shown plenty of my own channels on this channel, and a lot of the times they die after I show it. Here's a student's channel I showed, right? And I started showing this on my channel here, and boom, it died. Here's another channel I showed. I was actually running it, and I was running on my YouTube channel like a challenge, showing that I could blow up a channel within a few days. I did so. I posted this on YouTube, and it instantly tanked. Once again here, I had this other channel. I showed it on YouTube and instantly tanked immediately after. So I realized it's just not a good idea to show my YouTube channels if it's within the first month or so of me posting it. So I'll show this channel after like a month, but for now I'm gonna blur it. Hopefully you can understand, because too many people would come in through search and they would become competition before my channel is established and YouTube knows, okay, this is the main channel to throw views to. So before people call me out for blurring, that is honestly why I'm blurring this. But keep in mind, I started this channel on March 16th. That's when my first upload was, as you can see by the icon down here. And on the second day, 500 watch hours, third day, 700,000 watch hours, right? So this is actually almost 2 times the amount of watch hours you need. You need 4,000 watch hours to monetize on YouTube. I had almost 8,000, 48 hours after my first upload. If I go to the subscribers, you can see I didn't have the sub count, but I had the sub count on March 19th. So 72 hours after my first upload, at this time I only had 2 uploads, I was already eligible for monetization. Aside from the fact that you need 3 videos, so I just uploaded another video the day after. Boom, I'm eligible for monetization. Now I'm just waiting, as you can see, I'm just waiting for them to accept the monetization. And this is in the POV niche. And keep in mind, this niche has been around for 2 months now, and I'd say every single day, every other day, new channels are blowing up and new sub niches, but following the same format, aka the broad niche like I said. And I started this channel not that long ago. I started the channel 8 days ago, and within 4 days, I was eligible for monetization. Well, I guess 3 days if you don't count the 3 video thing. But this is more proof. If everything I said before doesn't prove that it's possible, then this should, because I just started this channel and it's still working. It's clear that this format is gonna work for a very long time. Now, how are my students making videos for these channels? How am I making videos for this channel? Well, I'm gonna show you the exact process I'm using to make channels for this very channel that you're looking at the analytics of. And I'm doing this using my software, tubegen.ai. Now, I'll have a referral link in the description if you want a discount. And keep in mind, I know a lot of people don't want promotions on YouTube, like promoting some sort of company, but this is genuinely how I'm making the videos for this channel. And this channel is about to start bringing me a few $1,000s a month. So spending a few $100s a month on the videos isn't going to, it's like I'm having, 90% profit margin. So if you want to, feel free to figure out how to replicate this process for free. It might just take you a lot longer, but I'm showing it this way because this is literally how I'm making the videos for this channel. Now, the first thing I want to do is go over to my styles tab and press create new style. And pretty much we're going to create a scriptwriter. How do we get the scripts for these videos? Well, let's go to the source channel, the channel that's doing the best, and pick their outlier videos. We can see this video has 2.1 million views. So let's copy the link address here. We're going to go and add a reference video and paste that one in here. And let's just title this like POV. Now, how long are their videos? They're like, 10 to 15 minutes long. So we can do like a 1,300 word count here. And then we're going to choose a voice. So let's listen to these voices. These are actually 11 Labs voices because 2Gen is partnered with 11 Labs. And we can choose someone like Tyler.
Hey, it's Tyler. A clean, high-energy YouTube delivery that makes your script sound like a real creator.
Now, we're gonna add one more reference video, so let's go back to the channel and get their second outlier video. Their next outlier video past that would be something like what it's like to be a corrupt politician. We're gonna paste that in here and press enter. Now let's press create style, and TubeGen is gonna download the transcripts, analyze them, and create an AI scriptwriter specifically for that style. Now, the next thing we wanna do is press on create video, and we're gonna be able to choose a style. Let's choose POV here. And we can generate a title, for example. But in this case, keep in mind, we don't want to copy him because then we'd be in the same sub-niche. So we actually don't have to generate a title. We can put our own here. So this is when we have to think, okay, what do we want to get into? What is the topic of the video or the sub-niche that we want to get into? Well, let's say we wanted to make our channel like pirate theme, for example. We could do something like POV, your life as every rank on a pirate ship. So I wrote your life as every rank of pirate, and I'm just putting in your crew. This wouldn't be in the actual title, but it's just to make sure that TubeGen knows exactly what we want here. And then we're gonna press generate and generate script. And that's only 100 credits to generate the script. You can see it's analyzing style DNA, extracting the writing patterns, and I'll cut back once it actually reads the transcripts and creates the full script for us. And here we are now. You can see that we have the script, and it makes sense. You can read it if you want. You can pause the video and read through this, but we have 1385 words. I selected 1350 words here, and you can see we have a script on exactly what we wanted. Now the next thing we want to do is generate the voiceover, and we selected Tyler. You could still change the voice here, but we're simply just going to press generate, and then it's going to read our script from the previous tab. Now if you have your own script, you can actually paste it in here. You don't even need to use the script writer. Now we have our voiceover here, and something I like to do as well is I like to cut silences, because the AI voiceover has some like silences or like quote unquote breaths to make it sound human. But if you've ever watched a YouTube video, you know that people cut silences in between, and this is going to make it sound more like YouTube-y and easier for the viewer to digest the content. So this is just going to up your AVD, which, by the way, if you don't know, that is just average viewer duration, which helps YouTube push your videos if you have a good average viewer duration. So that's the first 12 seconds. Now we actually need to make the video, right? So we go over to the visuals tab here, and there's a ton of cool things you can do. Now for these type of videos, I'm going to make them animated, but they're going to be mostly images. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to press on animated, and we're going to press only animate longer images. So I'm going to do like 3.5 seconds. We're going to do 3.51 to 8 seconds. So anything that's over 3.5 seconds to 8 seconds, that's going to be animated. Anything that's under 3.5 seconds, it's going to be an image. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, pretty much this is just going to generate the entire video based on the voiceover. So you'll see what I mean. What I want to do here is now choose an art style, right? So if we press on this, you can see I already have a POV art style. You can actually create a custom style, and if I press edit, you can see I just took 3 screenshots from the reference channels and added them in here. Now in the description, we're going to write 2D hand-drawn art style, and we can pretty much just select this POV. Now I like to also go over to smart overlays, and I'm going to turn on auto charts, auto maps, and auto headers. And you'll see why we do this, but pretty much it's going to detect in the script if any analytical charts are needed, if any map animations are needed, or if any header things are needed. So it's going to make it feel like an edited video. Well, it's pretty much going to edit the video for you, actually. Now you can also turn on consistent characters if you want. And here are the consistent characters that were generated. Keep in mind, you can make this without TubeGen. If you want to figure out how to do so, just take the workflow I'm doing and figure out how to do it outside of TubeGen. But this is, of course, the most simple way, and like I said, this is what I'm using to monetize my channels. So now this is my main character. I'm going to put him as place in every image, and then we're going to generate the video. Now, once we generate, we pretty much get the first scene as well as all the prompts. So it tells us which scene, what timestamps it'll play from, which part of the script it's using, and it gives you the prompting. And you can see at the top, we have our first header, rank 1 ships boy. We can change the header settings. For example, we can change the font to this one, and we can do, font size large, and we can make it so that it does wiggle, for example. And then we could save that, and here is our new header. So if I, make it bigger, that's what it looks like. Then from here, we're going to press generate all images, press generate, and then after that, you see all the images, and then you can press animate all the images that we had selected to animate, which we did anything over 2.5 seconds long. So you can see, like this first image, it's 0.92 seconds, so this one wouldn't be animated. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to when everything is generated and animated, and you'll see what it all looks like put together. Now, here's what we have. As we can see, we have this wiggle header from before. We have our images that have our consistent characters that we have here. As you can see, here's the main character who is placed in every image. You can see we have our animations on the scenes that are longer than 2.5 seconds here. Like this one's 3.5. So we have, the characters moving around, the background moving. And now that we have the visuals, we can go ahead and even make a soundtrack for a video. So we can use the generated voiceover, continue, and it will generate. If we press auto split with AI, it's going to generate music that's timed to the voiceover. So it's going to match the tone. So if it's happy in the first 10 seconds, it'll be happy. Then if at 10 seconds, it's like the lightning strike, the strikes, the ship starts rocking, like maybe it'll go to scary music at that exact millisecond. So now we're going to have this music in the background as well. And then we can even make the thumbnail here. So the cool thing about all of these is you can actually go between them while something's generating. So we can generate the soundtrack here. And while this is generating, we can actually go over to the thumbnail. So we could go over to the wealth explainer, or we could even go over to auto generate, right? Press auto generate, and it's going to take some existing videos we can exit out that one, or we could provide a reference thumbnail. So if we want to provide a reference thumbnail, like for example, this random one, you could also do that. You could add this and then remove this one. But that's just pretty much pulling from the scripts that we're using as reference here. Now it's going to automatically generate a thumbnail for us, and you can select between 1 and 4, and it's going to generate a thumbnail based on your title and based on the thumbnail style that we provided. You can also press manual and just give it a thumbnail and then type in exactly what you want your thumbnail to look like. Auto generates pretty much doing everything for you. So here's some thumbnails it generated. I like this one right here, so you can press use this, and now it downloaded this as our thumbnail. You could also regenerate, and like I said, if you want it to be specific, like you want the exact text to say what you want, you could go and do the manual version instead, which gives you a lot more control. And now as you can see, if we go back to the soundtrack is done. So if we go over to the video editor, our video will be in there, and we can do even more things. So here we have our video. We can even go to the effects tab, and we can make it so that any images that aren't animated and aren't headers, we can make them zoom in, so apply to 25 scenes, and we could also add, for example, a crossfade between them. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up and full screen this video, and I'm going to play you the first minute so you can actually see what it's going to be like. So this is going to include the voiceover, the visuals, the animations, images, headers, and the soundtrack.
Rank 1, ships, boy, you're 12, maybe 13. The captain doesn't care. You sleep below the waterline on a rope hammock that smells like rot and salt. You mop the deck. You carry powder cartridges to the guns. You run messages between officers. Nobody explains anything to you. You're furniture. The crew bets on whether you'll survive your first storm. Most of them think you won't. Your job pays nothing. Actually, you owe the ship for your food. There's a ledger. Your debt grows every week. The first time you see a man flogged, you look away. The bosun grabs your neck. Watch. You learn what happens when orders aren't followed. You don't look away again. You figure out fast. This place runs on fear and silence. You stay quiet. You stay useful. That's the only protection you have. Rank 2, able seaman. You're 16 now. You've survived 2 hurricanes and a fever that killed 3 men beside you.
So that's just about the first minute. As you can see, there are things that definitely need to be changed. Like, for example, in the beginning, the AI voiceover sounded really choppy at the start, but that's why you can go and just regenerate that first little part. You can adjust the audio of the music. If you thought that was too loud, no worry, you could just adjust the volume right here, or you could mute it. And you can change what transitions you want. You can change if you want zoom in or not. And then pretty much you would just press export video right here. Now keep in mind you have a project history, so we can actually go and press on this right here. And then everything is actually saved in here. Our visuals are saved in here. As you can see, the thumbnail saved in here. The only thing we didn't do yet is the description. And you can actually generate this description, and it's going to generate the description based on your voiceover, your script, and your title. So it's going to write a description with a bunch of keywords. It's going to put, the timestamps in the video. So now we have the title, description, thumbnail, and the video. If you found any of that useful, like I said, you can learn my full YouTube automation system and how to learn what I learned down in the link in the description. Subscribe if you like the video. See ya.
All right, so I'm currently at my dashboard on smmshiba.com, and do not get confused by the website names. SMM Shiba and SMM Dodge are actually the same website. So all you have to do once you've created yourself an account here is to go on list, click on this category icon, select, and here you want to select something, basically any option that says you from with video. So I'm going to choose this one right here, and this should be already fine. 2014, 2017, yeah. Now I'm going to click on buy, confirm, and now you can go onto your product orders, and you will see this is pending. All right, the order is now completed. This didn't even take 2 minutes. What you want to do now is you want to copy that ID, and we want to be organized, right? Especially if we have multiple channels, you will not find them again. So make sure to save it somewhere.